get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. All right, excuse me. All right, let's make sure we're on here. Go to videos, see if we're showing up on the L phone. There we go, sweet. All right, let's get this party started. There we go. Figure just want to jump on here. Got some articles I want to read. I know it's a bit late, but I was thinking about doing this earlier. I had a long conversation with a very nice lady here just a few minutes ago. We'll be doing a live stream with her on Monday. Hey, a little late. Yeah, very big late, very late. Hey, Carl, very late, Ward. Late. Actually, I had to go to Dairy Queen and get my kids some hamburgers. Hello, Denise. And I was waiting in line for 20 minutes, man. They screw up the burgers. My kid does not like anything on them except for catsup. Hey, Lee. And when they just screw up the order, I didn't even have I was so late running back, I didn't even have a chance to look at them. It turns out they had cheese on them, and my boy is allergic to cheese. So I appreciate y'all being here, and I know this is kind of unorthodox, but hey, QYLD. Dave, are you the one who sent me the email on that, QYLD? So I've heard that. I don't know if that's you or not. Let's take a gander. So first thing we're going to do, let's look at QYLD. Let me bring it up in Yahoo. And QYLD. Excuse me. All right, let's take a look here. All right, QYLD. Why does it keep freaking doing that? QYL. Oops, hold on just a sec. QYLD. Global NASDAQ 100. Is this a covered call ETF? All right, so let's take a gander at the covered call ETF, shall we? And if I can go to share my screen. Hello, Nancy. Got your merch. Very nice. Right on, Ward. What kind of merch did you get? The Heritage Wealth Planning stuff? All right, so let's go to here's QYLD. All right, so it's a covered call. All right, so what these guys are doing, Dave, is is what's called a buy right strategy. A buy right strategy. So let's look at how this works. So let's look at Exxon. We'll do Exxon right quick. We'll look at Exxon, and then, all right. So what a buy, I'm going to share what a buy right strategy is and how this works. So there's Exxon. You're going to show this to me, Yahoo. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at options. So right now, Exxon is trading at 38.07. All right. So if you were to buy 100 shares of Exxon, you would pay $3,800. Hope that makes sense. So we're going to buy, and then we're going to write WRITE, a covered call against it. And let's see what the options are. We're going to go it's been a long time since I did this. So leaps are about a long, I forgot what leaps are called, but they're the long-term options that they're out there. Leaps are, I forgot what that stands for anymore. All right, so let's go we're not going to do 2020s. We're going to go into we'll say 2021. So that'll be 9 months from now. All right, so we're going to buy 100 shares, and then we're going to sell a call on this. And right now it's trading at 38 is roughly. So we want to sell it out of the money. So we're going to sell an option at say 42.50. All right, and these are calls. All right, sweet. So what's going to happen is we're going to sell it at 42.50. So let me share what this means. If the stock of Exxon does not go up from the current price, which is right now, what did you say, 38 for simplicity, it does not go beyond 42.50, this option will expire worthless, which means you who have bought the 100 shares and you have written a call option against it, you get to keep the premium. In this case, was $255. So you get to keep this right here, which is $255. I hope that makes sense. So basically what is happening here is you're saying, okay, I bought 100 shares of Exxon for $38. That cost me $3,800. That's $3,800. I turned around and I sold, or I wrote a call against those 100 shares, and at 42.50 is my strike price. I'll talk about that in just a second. But I was able to collect $255 in order to sell that option. So someone who's willing to pay me $255 to buy the potential to take my shares. I'll clarify that just a second. So just bear with me just a second. So it cost me $3,800 to buy 100 shares. I sold an option against that for $255. So we take our trusted calculator. We say it cost you $3,800. I sold an option for $255, which is the premium I got. The premium. So my net cost in here is only $3,545 because I had to pay $3,800 for those 100 shares. But then I received $255 for an option that I sold against it. Now, so again, how this works when you're selling an option, selling a call, what that means is right now, the price is 38 bucks. What happens is if the stock goes to 50, all right, someone calls the shares away from me at 42.50. So the person who bought my call has the rights to take my shares and only give me 42.50. I hope that makes sense. Now this is going to expire in September. No, this will expire. What was this in June? June 21. So these option rights expire in 9 months, 9 months or so. So as long as the price stays below 42.50, then I keep my shares and I keep that option premium. If the price goes above 42.50 though, someone is going to pay me 42.50 for my shares. But they're only going to pay me 42.50. They're not going to pay me any more at all. So what that means is that they're going to say, let me stop sharing real quick, that if the price goes to 50, they're going to pay me 42.50. And I miss out on the extra, the $8 extra or $7.50 extra. So essentially, they are buying the option to call my shares away from me, depending on what the price is between now and June 21st. European options don't trade like U.S. options. European options, if memory serves, you can only basically sell those once at expiration date. American options are much more, I hate to say Wild West, but America is just freaking awesome. You can buy and sell options any day of the week. You can say, but in European options, if memory serves, they only contract or not contract. They only, you can only exercise them. That's the word I'm looking for on strike price, a strike day, and that would be in this case, June 21. So now what the benefit is that what the benefit to the guy buying the option, he's saying, I like Exxon, not sure I want to buy a full 100 shares at $3,800, but I'm willing to buy the access to 100 shares for $100 shares for $255, if that makes sense. And because I'm willing to buy the access, essentially I have control of 100 shares, but not for the 3,800. I have control of 100 shares for $255. Now, if the shares do not go to my strike price at $42.50, I'm out that $250, the $255. However, if the share price just gallops way above that, then I get all those gains, if that makes sense. And that is a wonderful strategy for volatile stocks. Now, on the other hand, I, as the owner of the 100 shares, I still get the dividends as well. And if memory serves, Exxon is paying me right now 8% as 9% as a dividend, I think. Let's see, Exxon is paying me a 9.11% dividend yield. So for me to hold the shares, I get 9.11 for an annual dividend, plus I get that $255 option because I sold the option, plus if the price does go up to $42.50, I get $5.50 on gain. So I get $5.50. I bought it at 38. I will sell it at $42.50. I get that $4.50, I guess. I get $4.50 of appreciation, plus another 9% dividend yield, plus the $255 that I made in terms of the option, the option selling the call, if that makes sense. So that's a pretty sweet deal. If that works like that, that's a pretty sweet deal. All right, let me see if there's any questions on that. There's a lot going on there. 556. Ooh, right on, Ward. So I don't remember Charles Givens. Who's that? So what's interesting about the buy right strategy and the covered call options, the same thing. Buy right strategy is that it allows you to generate extra income without generating any more risk. And now that sounds fanciful, but it's not, because you're basically saying I'm getting a 9.11% dividend yield plus the amount of money I'm getting on selling that covered call. I am not taking any more risk at all, none whatsoever, because what I've done essentially is I've reduced the outflow to own 100 shares. Instead of actually having 3,800 out of pocket, I now have 3,400. So the maximum I can lose is $3,400. I hope that makes sense. The problem is, of course, is that when you look at stocks, it's never just like this. It's always zoom, 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 zoom. You see what I'm saying? And this is why let's look at options on Tesla. I bet they're through the roof, man. So if we go to Tesla, let's see options here. All right, so let's go back to share screen. Tesla. All right, so let's look at share screen on Tesla. Tesla's up 10.92. So let's look. I bet these options are freaking insane because it's so volatile that you can make a heck of a lot of money on if you luck out. It's just luck. It's all there is to it. It's just luck. So we'll go to out of the money options. We'll go to out of the money. Just means right now it's trading but above the strike price is above the current price right now. So again, the strike price is let me just show you. This is the strike price right here, 20. So the price is 366. The strike price is 20. So that means it's $324 in the money. If someone bought that option, they're making money. They make bank. Now, on the other hand, the out of the money is going to be above what the strike price is above what the stock is trading at. So we got to go way down here. But I don't want those options. I want, let's go to March 2021. So 6-month options. That's stupid. Here, hold on just a second. We want to go way out of the money here. I bet they're trading freaking $100. Pretty close. So if we go to, what's the price at right now? 366. So if we go to out of the money options with a strike price of, what's going on here, man? Look at all these options. This Tesla is just, it's nuts. A transaction tax, man. This is because all these, look at the quantity. I'm just the nuts. The transaction tax. I'm telling you right now. All right. So here's a out of the money option. We'll go to 400 for simplicity, right there. All right. So if I bought 100 shares of Tesla for 366 and I sold a covered call at a 400 September. No, this would be March 2021 out of the money option. My total cost to me is 366 minus the 78.97. So we'll just say that's 79. So 366 minus $79. So my total cost is 287. All right, that's what it's costing me. Now, if you were to turn around and have these and call my shares away from me between now and March 2021, you're going to pay me $400 for the opportunity to do that, which means I'll have a $113 gain if that happens. I hope that makes sense. So you're saying, yeah, I think you would say, as a person who's buying my option, I think Tesla easily could break 400 between now and March 2021. So I'm willing to pay you $79 for the opportunity to own 100 shares of your Tesla. And you don't own them, you have the rights to them, I should say. Now, if Tesla falls below 400, by the time the option expires in March, it'll be the third week of March of 2021, then I keep that $79 plus I keep the shares. In this case, Tesla doesn't pay a dividend, so I gain dividends. So, it's look at that. It's got 400. That's the volume right there. Now, wait, is that the volume? What's the volume? Hold on a second. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that is the volume. Look at that. That's 413 options. That's, you times that by 100. So that's 413,000 right here. 413,000 shares were traded, essentially were optioned off Tesla. 413,000 for this one strike price at 400 for the one expiration date at March 2021. That's crazy. That's just nuts. So, and then you have 6,900 that are already open on top of the 413. I think it isn't on top of the 413 that exercised today, that contracted today. That's crazy. And now the interesting thing is what happens with options. You don't have to wait to strike price. So here, if you would have sold this yesterday, or bought this, I should say, yesterday, you're already up 32%. So that's where options are kind of neat, is you can make a boatload of money or get killed in any given day. You're up 32% if you would have bought this option yesterday. If you would have sold this option yesterday, you're down 32%. And the reason you're down 32%, you're actually not, though. The reason you're down is because you're that much closer to having your shares taken away from you. Selling covered calls is actually safer than buying the stock outright. It really is. It's interesting, but don't do that unless I don't think you should do that unless you're trying to generate income. That's for sure. You certainly don't do it on a low cost basis stock, because don't forget, if you got a low cost basis and you sell a covered call on it and they take the shares away from you at a higher price than what you have it at today, you have to pay tax on that. Don't do that. So options should only be done in IRAs without question, or Roth, but they should not be done in a taxable account. They shouldn't be done with anything you have low cost. If you bought a stock, in 1997, Apple at $7, if you sell calls on it, you're freaking stupid, man. They're going to get, if they get taken from you, you're going to pay a huge capital gain. Don't do that. So let's look at the Qs real quick. So this is just one stock, but this would be your best bet of a options strategy for Tesla. Look at the Qs. This is what I used to do when I was back at, they used to have QQQ. All right, they do have the Qs. I thought they got rid of the Qs. All right, I thought they had 4 Qs. All right, well, there you go, the Qs. This used to be the NASDAQ 100, if memory serves. Now it's just the Invesco QQQ Trust. I don't know what any of that means. But here you're buying a basket of stocks. The nice thing is that the NASDAQ isn't going to zero. So you can sell options against this till you're blue in the face, knowing that's not going to zero. Now you could lose your shirt in price, but it's not going to zero. Hey there, Squeaks. My Pablo squeaking like crazy. So the Qs are kind of fun to exercise. Let's see what kind of options they got here to write options off and sell options and whatnot. Let's go out of the money. See, I can't just click out of the money. Ugh. All right, so we're just going to go down to, well, the same thing, the third week of March 2021, and we're going to go to way down out of the, what was the trade at? 277. So let's say an option at 300 is going to cost you to buy that $150 to buy 100 share to buy where you have control of 100 shares of the Qs. So that right there is up $15 today. 15%. So you could have made 15% and sell in a buying an option strategy, even if you actually don't exercise it. I know that's confusing, a lot going on there, but it's something that, I guess I didn't show that to you. I guess I wasn't sharing that screen with you. Sorry about that. Or was I? No, I guess I wasn't. Anyway, so I'm just, at the end of the day, I got burned in options. The reason was because I rode PetSmart down and down and down. And I think I even rode the Qs down and down and down. Essentially, to PetSmart is down like a 2-4. Let me show you. So let me share my screen with you again, and I don't even know, does PetSmart still even trade? I can't remember. Let's see. We're gonna go to Market Watch. Let's look at PETM if that's even still the ticker. No, there's no PetSmart. Look at that. That's crazy. PetSmart. Yeah. Okay. So PetSmart went private. All right. So they rode that sucker down, then they made a private transaction. That's crazy. All right. There you go. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so I rode PetSmart and the Qs down until basically they were almost worthless, and then I essentially lost my shirt when the shares got exercised. So it sounds good in theory until it doesn't work, just like everything. All right, I don't remember Charles Gibbon, right on CB, precious metals, better drink your beer before Antifa does. Nate, right on, Michael says he's learned a lot from my channel, appreciate that. Holler Coffee YouTube link to about 50 friends last eve, right on CB. Remember Holler Roast, John Blank, but Holler Roast Coffee, Nicole Sauce does it, and if you buy their Dark Horse coffee, they will send $5 to Dark Horse. It's a farming kind of environment where veterans can go to just relax and be at peace with their thoughts, and do some hunting, maybe not hunting, but certainly fishing, and just gathering their thoughts as they kind of readjust, if that makes sense. Hey, no, you're not late to the party, Jill. I was late to the party. Yeah, so pulverizer, you're not paying 42.50. You're paying 42.50 for 100 shares. That's a difference. So you're paying 38 for one share. 42.50 is for 100 shares. So basically, it's costing you $3,800 for 100 shares, but 425 to have exercising rights of 100 shares. I hope that makes sense. That's a derivative. Hey, UPS man just dropped some 40 Smith and Wesson. Right on. That's do they even have that anymore? Um, I'm not buying more Exxon. Nope. News on them. I haven't heard anything. News on them cutting dividend. Hopefully not. But 66.5 Grendel is greater than 556. I don't even know what that is. Carl said, help 90-year-old family sell her car for $500, saving $900 per year insurance. Yep, the older you got, the cost drop. Right on, man. Yep, the Pat. Oh, that's right. Pat's playing. Oh, someone's playing tonight, right? Who's playing tonight? I don't care. Right on. I like the live streaming too. I had Exxon and a dividend. Eisman 57. I had Exxon and a dividend reinvestment account for 20 years, pretty much paid for my house here in Phoenix. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. Did I share with you all the story about the lady? She literally works for the front office for a dentist. That's it. She's a lady. When you go and you say, hey, I gotta sign in. She goes, let me see your insurance, all that. She had I think she had 30,000 in the prime cap Vanguard in the late 90s, something like that, 25 or 30,000. Now it's worth 265,000. She has done nothing to it, has added nothing to it, just sat there and looked out the window. Looked out the window when the markets got killed. She just sat there, did not do anything, and now it's worth over $250,000. And this is just some dental assistant, not even a dental assistant, just some front desk lady, nice lady. But that's the beauty of the markets, man. This is what just pains me when people speculate. You don't need to speculate to make money. You just got to look out the window. And if you keep plugging away, you're going to be fine. Now, it's fun to trade options. It's gambling. I was listening to Clay Travis today, and he had bet on Navy to smoke BYU, and BYU smoked Navy, and he's out some money. And I don't get it, man. Losing money is painful. Now, I like Clay Travis. My inclination, he probably comes from a well-to-do family. I don't know that for a fact, but I have a sneaky suspicion he probably does. But I don't know. But man, not having money sucks. And when you have money and you lose it for some freaking gamble, whoo, that's just painful, man. And it just, and that's what options are doing. Options are betting, are gambling. Investing is investing. ExxonMobil is a company we use. ExxonMobil is not gambling. ExxonMobil is investing. Maybe Tesla. Tesla is investing. I wouldn't do it, but that's certainly investing in the growth prospects of the company for sure. I was listening to a guy today in Australia talking about the Sky News Australia, which I watch those every morning. Usually I'm taking Pobs for a walk, and they're talking about California and the insanity of the lack of the electricity. The grid is just all jacked up and everything, and it just is stupid. And the guy and New South Wales have the same thing. They're relying on green, and green is only as good as you can store the electricity. The battery power is not there. It's just not. But anyway, the guy was like, yeah, 15, 20 years, we should be able to get by without any fossil fuels. We should be able to have I'm drawing a blank what they call it in the utility sector. We have a level set of ready to serve to turn on the lights and stuff, like a load, the base load is what it's called. We've heard this story for batteries forever. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the idea in 20 years will magically just happen. You think they haven't been working on batteries for a freaking leaving the lead acid battery? The lead acid battery is still the primary battery in use, and that's 100-year. We've been using that for 100 years, the lead acid battery. They haven't updated that at all. I mean, we got a couple lithiums and whatnot, I get all that, but the lead acid battery is still the primo battery that we have. the idea that just it's been hidden from us now 20 years from now, all of a sudden, boom, we're going to get all the battery technology and we'll be able to go 100% off grid or 100% renewable because we can just load the batteries, which will never have a depth of discharge below 50%. It's just it's just dumb, man. I'm sitting there thinking, what is it with these people who have this just fancy, where I'm sitting there thinking, so with all those engineers, all those scientists, all those chemists before, they couldn't figure out, but just the next 15 years, they're gonna, just come on. You need fossil fuels or you need nuclear. Until you have the batteries, you're not going to be able to be without. And to say that the batteries are just going to magically show up in 15 years is just, it's pie in the sky stuff. But that's what happens with these climate people. They think the technology, they think this Moore's law when it comes to computer processing speed is applicable to everything else in humanity. It's just, oh man. All right. Why are so many people over 65 afraid to start spending? I don't think they are, Paul. I think they're just, they don't want to. They're like, I got nothing. What am I going to do? I'm older. My knees hurt. I've done what I've wanted to do. When a company, Marie says, when a company switches the employee's 401k to another investment company, does the vested period of time start over? No. In fact, Marie, what they usually, I don't know if when they switch companies, it doesn't start over. No. A lot of times what they'll do is they, yeah, me too, pulverizer. I'm working on CB. So a lot of times, Marie, what they do, if they change plans, the vesting, you're automatically invested. Let me show you a little bit about a screen, share with you a little bit of my book, shall we? Yeah, so look at this guy. Look at this guy. Right here, I'm on page. By the way, Daniel, who did the spreadsheets, Daniel's, I think, had 50 sales. So I appreciate y'all taking care of old Daniel, and I'm sure it's going to be well worth your money. Daniel Coolbert had 50 sales from the email and video I did. So good stuff, guys, at least as of the end of yesterday. 67 pages so far, and it is just, and look, I haven't begun to, in terms of format this, but look, it's just page after page, lots of charts, lots of graphs, lots of spreadsheets. Look at this. So annual withdrawals, 4% inflation adjusted with a 12% reverse RMD. And this is, when was this started here? I got the number up here. 1930s, I think. So let's take a look. Was it 1930s? 1930s. All right. So this, started in 1930s. So you can see the red is a 12% reverse RMD. It starts way up here. Here's a 4% rule adjusted with inflation, the 4%. And it took until 1940 and a half before the 4% required minimum, or the 4% rule with inflation adjusted overtook the 4%, the 12% reverse RMDs. Right there is a cross point. And then the market turned up, and then you can see, so we have significant difference here in the latter part of your life. Well, A, are you even going to be around that long? Many of us won't be. And B, are you really that inclined to spend a lot? No. And here's the front part of your life when you're going to be partying like it's 1999. Now, that's the 12% reverse RMD. That is not the most ideal. In fact, what I'll show you down here. Now, the 12% reverse RMD leaves you just shy of $50,000 to your heirs, where the 4% inflation adjusted left you with $150,000. Well, all right, if leaving money to your heirs is the way to go, there's better ways to do it. Life insurance is the easiest way for sure, but be that as it may. And then you can see here annual withdrawals started in 1931. All right, so starting in 1931, it took till 1946, 15 years before the annual withdrawals and the 4% adjusted for inflation overtook the 12% reverse RMD. 15 years. That meant you were living on more money in the first 15 years of your retirement, the fun times, even though you did live on less as you got older. Less as you got older might go hand in hand with the fact that you're spending less anyway, and might also go hand in hand with the fact that you wanted to party on the front end of your retirement when you're healthy and you still had your looks. So you can say, hey, ladies, it's me. Come and get some. But, you don't have your looks up here. You'd be like, hey, ladies, it's me. People like, get out of here, George. I want that young whippersnapper over there, that guy Josh. So, oh, here comes somebody. Come on up. You got to smash the like button when Pablo makes a presence. Come on, buddy. Anyway, so, but then watch this. This right here is the account value. 400,000 you're leaving to your heirs, 4% inflation adjusted versus only, I don't know what that is, about 75,000 with a 12% reverse RMD. So you can see if you want to leave money, well, the way to do it is you can fly coach so your kids can fly first class. I don't intend to do that. Here, Pablo, I've already spoiled my child more than I need to. Isn't that right, buddy? Is Kim Davis watching? Kim Davis watch. She's going to give me a kiss. Give me a kiss, Pablo. No? Want to kiss me on my lips? No? Don't want to give me a kiss? No? Kisses? You being shy. Yeah, you didn't like my stinky breath. But check this out. We go down here. I think I got where I show a 10%. Maybe I haven't done that yet. Okay. That's the last thing I'm going to do. But anyway, so we got these spreadsheets. You'll see here's a 10%. So if you took a 10% reverse RMD, and you started in 1931, you actually spent more than you did by a 12%, and you did by an 8%. You averaged 5,300 a year, and you had 114,000 left. 10% seems to be the most efficient, in terms of during low inflation years or deflationary years, but certainly low inflation years. 10%. The reverse RMD is the most efficient. You get to spend the most, and you leave a decent amount. But in high inflation years, 8% works better. So you start with 8% reverse RMD, and you can see we're going to take $213,000 out of an 8%. This is 1966. So we spend. Let's see here. We spend, my number's wrong there, so I got to fix that. We spend the second most here and 213,000, but we leave the most by far by only taking 8% a year out. But I got to adjust that number right there. That's wrong. But anyway, this one's wrong right here. But at the end of the day, the best when it's a higher inflation, we want to start off with a lower amount just because inflation will devastate you. But I don't know if I got it on here yet. No, I don't. But basically what happens is the last thing I'm going to do here is when you look at the structure of the reverse RMD versus the 4% versus the 5% versus a 6% distribution adjusted for inflation, if running out of money is your biggest concern, the reverse RMD is the number one way to go because you never run out of money. And the reason for that is simple. You're taking a percentage of your assets as opposed to a fixed amount adjusted for inflation. So the reverse RMD says, look, if I'm taking 8% a year out, it's 8% regardless of what the market does. The next year I'm taking 7.8. The next year I'm taking 7.6. So it doesn't matter what the market does. I'm only taking a fixed percentage amount out each and every year. Where if you take 4% a year, you're taking 4%, adjusting that each and every year with inflation. That could be doomsday if the markets turn south against you. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to sharing that with you guys for sure. And I'm pretty much done. I mean, I got a couple things to clean up. I got a couple more, about one more chapter right, and then it's gonna be good to go. The Wellington covers, CB. I haven't. I was thinking. I hadn't got those guys, the Zion crowd people, to do but I will do that. That's a good point. I haven't got them to do a cover yet. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow morning actually, and submit some graphics for them to finagle, and then I'll get 3 and I'll put up for a vote for sure. Let's see. If you love dividends, you should love dividend reinvestment accounts. Buy a block of shares and sit back and let it snowball over time. Oil is going up, supply will be cut, and demand will grow. That's the thing. Demand for oil is not going away. It's just not. Just look at what's going on in California. Look what happened in New South Wales. This is just not going anywhere. Same ones that say there's a 100 mile per hour carburetor or a car that runs on water, but Trump and the corporate fascists keeps it hidden. Exactly. I know. Or the hydrogen cars. I got a book on hydrogen power back there, which is pretty interesting, and that was from 1966. And anyway, just the idea that hydrogen cars are gonna, the hydrogen cells. But yeah, but we actually can. Who's a freaking Bill Burr? I couldn't believe this guy. I was like, dude, I can't listen to the guy anymore. I just can't. First of all, he's such a freaking global warming weenie, and yet he still flies all over the world when he can to do comedy shows. You can't have it both ways, brother. You can't. But then he bought hook, line, and sinker the Atlantic story on the Trumpster mocking the military, which is just a freaking clown show. Trump never did that. I cannot believe there are people who fall for the media. I just can't. And I was listening to that, but I was sitting there, Bill Burr, he said, why? He actually says it. He says, he thinks the big oil companies have hidden the technology for cars to run on solar and stuff like that. I'm just like, this freaking, they're just, I hate to say it, but that's just idiotic. It's not even a conspiracy, it's just idiots. We got idiots amongst our midst. That's all there is to it. I'm like, do you not think Exxon or freaking whoever would not want to freaking patent that and sell the hell out of that? My goodness. Oops. Use what works through 22 long range, LR is long range, right? Beats hell out of nothing. Not long range. LR, I forgot what the hell does it stand for. And I can pepper the hell out of anything. Yeah, 22 is better than nothing for sure. Air rifle is better than nothing for sure. I mean, literally an air rifle. What information does his report show me? I'm still thinking about doing it. Whose report, Murray? I'm not sure, but I'm not following you there. No, this one is not just for Subscribe Star people. This is Wednesday for everybody. I only do Subscribe Star once or twice a month. This is for everybody. I just jumped on there. I got off a good call with some lady. Went on a lot longer than anticipated, and but I do like doing live streams on Wednesday, every Wednesday night. Just this one is for it's for the whole. It's not just for Subscribe Star. It's for the whole YouTube crew. Talk about Boeing stock sometime. Boeing makes the finest flying crash machine ever. California's food bar right now. The sky looks like the apocalypse in it. Flying is the safest form of transportation statistically. I hear that. I think the challenge, and it's fine. I just wonder, frankly, if you actually looked at the number of miles driven per capita versus the number of miles flown per capita or I don't know what you call it, but I just wonder if that's actually true. There's not that many flight crashes. I get that, and there's a boatload of car crashes, but how many miles per passenger, I guess, is what you look, is actually flown versus miles per passenger actually driven. I don't know the answer to that. Just something that'd be interesting to find out. And frankly, it doesn't matter. But yeah, flying is safe. I'm not sure about helicopters, and I'm certainly not sure about Cessnas, but jet planes are safe. Problem with jet planes, they pollute like a mofo. Lots of CO2 coming out there every single time you step on one. You must give up your green card. Not your green card to become working in America legally. Your green card that says you're a green, you care. You got to give up your Greta Thunberg fan club if you get on a plane. That's all there is to it. If you get on a plane, you are inherently not worried about CO2. There is no justification for it, none whatsoever. I hear all these people, but Josh, it's the only form of transportation we can do if we want to fly. That's the problem. You're freaking justifying it. But if you thought CO2 was going to cause the human instinction, we're all going to boil in a pile of fire, you would inherently say, I can't get on that plane. I want to protect my fellow man, just like I demand masks because I want to show I care. I'm not going to fly because I show I care. And you're a hypocrite. Actually, you're even worse than a hypocrite. You just literally don't care. If you truly believe that CO2 is the death of us all. I was having a good conversation with Chloe earlier today and talk about, is there a correlation between CO2 and higher temps? Yeah. What comes first, CO2 or higher temps? Yeah. But she made a good point. She goes, well, it's almost like a feeding, if the CO2 leads to higher temps or higher temps leads to CO2, want to just keep expanding until we're just all sitting in the sun, essentially burning to death because it's so hot. I said, well, it works until it doesn't. What causes the little ice age after the medieval warm period? Huh? What causes the various ramifications of the weather, the climate throughout the Earth's history? Something happens. The sun, a comet, a volcano, we don't know. But what happens to make these things change? There was CO2, there was hot weather, and then all of a sudden, no, there wasn't any. Why? so we can say, well, human beings are responsible for putting CO2 in the air, which is leading to global warming. We could say that. Then you have to say, okay, maybe, but what caused it in the the medieval warm period and the times before that, when the Vikings were able to populate Greenland and whatnot? What caused this stuff? And then why did it stop with a little ice age? Never mind all the other antiquated things from the years gone by. What caused it? CO2. Huh? Well, it wasn't industrial. It wasn't the ICE, the internal combustion engine. It wasn't that. So it caused it. But if CO2 caused the temperatures to increase, and then the temperatures did not, they decreased. And you're saying human beings are causing the temperatures to increase because CO2. Well, what could cause the CO2 to go the way of the dodo bird this time? I just think it's very arrogant to say that human beings are going to control the environment, as if we can not, as if we can just snap a button and say, we don't want global warming anymore, Trump. And as such, we're going to do what we can to save Mother Earth News. Banning Joe Salton, Mother Earth News can kiss my butt. All right. The problem with the Atlantic story is that people think it's a fact by unknown. Yeah, no, they think it's a fact because they're freaking idiots, man. Homer. It's just unknown sources. But even Fox News confirms it. Fox News confirms unknown sources. And it doesn't take a rocket science to put two and two together. What Trump was saying about losers. He's talking about the generals could not win in Afghanistan, and those generals got pissed, and they said, "Oh, okay. So we're going to say we heard him say losers, and we're going to say he meant." The people who died in war. In fact, factually, the stupid guy from Jeffrey Goldberg, whatever that fool's name is, he said it is a lie that the helicopter could not fly in that bad weather. That's what he said in his story. And now he's saying, well, okay, they did land because of inclement weather. He said that. So inherently, his right there is a lie. He said in the story, Trump lied about not being able to fly in inclement weather. And then they said, we got verification. They did not fly because of inclement weather. And Jeffrey Goldberg says, yeah, well, that's right. That is right. But that's not what you said in the story. So that's you're already, never mind the anonymous sources, never mind everything else. You're already just busting in a lie, you friggin' fool. Never mind all the many people who dispute this. Never mind the fact, you know who Trump's talking about. He's talking about the losers who can't win these wars, which is why he's pulling out. Good on the Trumpster. And the generals are pissed. But Josh, they serve the country proudly. That doesn't mean they're without criticism. Just like cops, you can criticize too. You can criticize people. I don't care if you're a freaking 4-star general or not. I could give two craps. You still have the ability to be criticized, as does the Trumpster, as does freaking Walter Payton. You can criticize him too. I don't care who it is. You can, just because someone has freaking achieved the highest rank doesn't mean they're without criticism. That's nuts. Screw all that. Empower Retirement announced today they bought Mass Mutual's retirement plans book of, ooh, what? That's weird. Empower America bought Mass Mutual's retirement plans book of business. Yeah, I bet there's a concern because Mass Mutual is an insurance company selling annuity-like products and high-fee products, I bet. And because of that, they're worried about the DOL, Department of Labor, saying, these products are too high. You can't do that. And so Mass Mutual says, all right, we're going to get out of that business outright. USA kind of did the same thing a little bit ago when they got rid of their, they just didn't want to have the regulatory issues with having accounts that were more expensive than what the Department of Labor might deem warranted, if that makes sense. So I'm sure that's the same thing here. Long rifle, that's what it was. Yeah, right on. I don't get the hydrogen car thing. Electric is great for transition, charge at home, oil, gas, nuclear, imagine to generate. 100 years from now, the ICE will seem like steam engines. Maybe. We shall see. We need the battery power, man. The bullet train. Oh yeah, remember that freaking bullet train? At least was it, gruesome. Recognize the nuts that was. I wonder how much Jerry Brown got for the freaking pushing that. What a freaking scumbag, man. I'm like, dude, you're wasting people's money. Everybody knew it was less things to crash in midair, and any idiot and it can get a driver's license. I have no doubt flying safer. Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I something I thought about. It's like, how are they comparing the two in terms of just crashes, or are they looking at the miles moved? I don't know. Will we ever see 3 to 5 CDs again? I don't think so. I did a view, not anytime soon, Mark. I did a video about how deflation is a threat, not inflation today. And I tell you, that's my thinking, which is why, look, man, this is why you've got to have some cash or at least bonds or like the Wellington. I mean, yeah. Look, I have no bonds. I have no cash. I'm in accumulate, which means I put money and put money and put money in. So even if I'm just living off the dividends alone, that's fine. But when you're in decumulation, cash and bonds are a valuable asset in low and deflationary economies. They just are. So I don't like bonds. Other than Wellington or Ginnie Mae, I think CDs work or cash itself is just fine. But at the end of the day, if we're in a low interest rate, low inflationary environment, a Japan-esque environment, bonds are still valuable. No other way around that. Cash is valuable. That's all there is to it. So if that happens, like the Wellington is great because you actually have professional money managers looking at the bonds inside the Wellington. Wellesley, same thing. You actually got people that are looking at that to see what the best buys are out there. And remember, the bond market dwarfs the stock market, man. So there's lots of things going in the bond market. You can't just, I don't have bonds. I have no cash. You got to have but again, like I just said, but if you're looking to retire and in deflation or low inflation is a risk, it just doesn't make sense not to have any bonds or cash or CDs. That's where the barbell comes in. Because what if you're wrong? What if stocks do great? Well, you want to have stocks. What if bonds or cash or fixed income does great? Well, you want to have that. We always got to look at what if we're wrong. While you're still putting money away, you can change your tact. While you're retired, awful hard to do that for sure. My man here, Lariv E-Man says, getting ready to retire, 68 pension, Social Security, TSP, VA disability, plus wife pension and Social Security, no debt. Oh man, you'll be pardoned like it's 1995, man, or 1999. Close all bases in Europe and Asia. I completely agree. But Germany's gonna be mad, and they're one of our staunchest allies. Are they? Are they really, Germany? Yeah, it sucks to be them, man. They can take care of themselves. I'm sorry. Maybe Poland. I like Poland. Maybe Taiwan. Keep some folks there, but maybe Japan. But everybody else, see ya. We need the money here. Bring it home for sure. Multi-year guaranteed annuity, the insurance business's CD. Someone had just written an article I want to read. I forgot where it was, about annuities replacing bonds, and I don't know. We will have to look at that. Do you think tech jobs will stay as attractive as they are 10 to 20 years from now? Man, I got no idea, Captain Kalid. No, my daughter's studying computer science at Georgia Tech, so I certainly hope so. Josh, please stop encouraging Californians to move. Too many of them and come to Texas and Arizona and bring in their ideology with them. I don't know if that's true, man. What's my prediction for 50 years from today? We'll all be dead. I'm not sure that's true, that they're taking their defective ideology. I'm sure some are, but I don't know. It's just kind of like the immigrants. When the immigrants come here, we're getting their best and brightest generally, the most hardworking, the people who are willing to pack up and leave someplace are generally the people you want. You know what I'm saying? The drawback about the Latin American immigration is so easy to kind of go back and forth. You're not really packing up and leaving for good. But if you're coming from Africa, if you're coming from Taiwan or something like that, generally speaking, you're packing up and leaving for good. And those are going to be pretty good people, entrepreneurial types and stuff like that you want. And a lot of Latin Americans are too, don't get me wrong. Don't say this racist. No, I'm just saying at the end of the day, it makes it easier not to get the best and brightest when you can just kind of gradually go over the border. Now, with that said, in the older days, in the 50s, the Mexican to Texas and whatnot was back and forth. That wasn't a problem. I wish we had those days back. Just go back and forth, man. No big deal. You know what I'm saying? You're a Mexican national. You come to America to work. You go back to Mexico. You're American. You want to go to Mexico to work, whatever. You come back to America. Done. The problem is the Democrats want the Mexican vote for votes. That's what they want. So they want to legalize all those people, and that's not good. And now the Republicans want the cheap labor, and that's not good. And that's why they both can kiss my butt. The Democrats want the votes, the Republicans want the cheap labor, and everyone's happy. Everyone except the working people in America, that's for sure. But you can't deny the fact that these guys who come here bust their butts, dudes. They do. They bust their butts. It's just they need to make it. Why not just say, look, come back and forth like you used to do in the old days? That's no big deal. Just go back, come wintertime, go back, go in growing season, come back, go back and forth. So I don't get why. The whole thing, my whole thing is my disillusion. 9/11's coming up, my whole disillusion. We're still taking off shoes at the airport and all this stuff. This stuff never stops, man. Once they get their claws into anti-freedom, they never leave. And this is the whole thing that scares the hell out of me about the masks. Once they got you and they got you by the kahunas, they never let go. They just grab it harder and harder and harder. And it's like, what? I mean, we're still going through the same insanity with TSA, with going through security. It's just that we're never gonna get our freedom back. That's the thing that sucks. And we're giving it away more and more to little tyrants. It's insane. Yeah, many people heard the original report and few will hear the correction. Well, that's the way it always is. By the time the lie gets around the world before the truth gets its boots on, for sure. Does Trump even deserve to be nominated for the Nobel Prize with the Israel UAE deal? Yep, I do believe so. Unknown sources. Yep, whole story is a lie and a hit job. If we're true, we would have actually had two sources 2 years ago exactly. This is 30 months ago. And these guys they're all lies. All lies. You can't, if the media says it, you just literally, the first thing is to think the exact opposite. Let's see. All right, Josh, thanks for turning me on to Vanguard. Ginny May, you got it, man. Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Yep. I hope Trump wins so he can go make a speech there and drop the mic. That would be sweet. At least it's something like Obama. All Obama did was win an election. Right, exactly. Best place to keep money while saving for a second house. Ooh, not for an index fund. Heck no. I mean, I don't know when you're looking to buy that second house, but I like the Ginnie Mae fund, VFIIX. I don't know anything about your situation, Jailbreak. My assumption is you're a felon on the run, so I'm going to presume that you need money liquid. I just think for a liquid account that gets usually better than savings rates without hardly any risk, the Ginnie Mae fund is wonderful. Absolutely. Does it cost anything to own? I mean, I think not in terms of commission or anything like that. Big fan. First time, long time. The Ginnie Mae fund is VFIIX. Big fan. So I would look at that and just pile it away. You don't want an index fund because let's say the house is 150 and you got 135 in there and you're just about ready to pull the trigger. Then boom, February 14th happens and you wake up March 23rd and you're down 35%. Can't have that. Disagree on, all right, that's fine. If Trump, I think people are shocked by the silent majority vote. I'm hoping so, brother. Yeah, Fox News is corrupt too, man. I mean, they had what's his name, Ed Henry on there. Was it Ed Henry? It wasn't Ed Henry. They had another guy on there too. It wasn't Ed Henry, but it was another guy who was part of the swamp. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. He was not a fan. He was coming. Steyergate or something. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch any of them. I just don't care. But Steyergate or something like that. Big anti-Trumpster. And I've never liked Shep. I can't stand Shep Smith. Could never stand that holier than thou, self-righteous guy. I don't know why Fox had that guy on there. That guy was just, so it wasn't just he was liberal, which he obviously was. He was just so self-indignant, just like he knew everything. I hate being preached to. I hate it, man. It drives me crazy. Anyway, that's when I stopped watching. Probably 2014. I said, I don't care. Never gotten a Hannity. Hannity doesn't do anything for me. He just doesn't do anything for me. I like Tucker. I watch Tucker's segments on YouTube. Laura Ingraham, I don't watch. I just don't. She's all right. I don't watch. I used to listen to her radio show. I liked her radio show actually. But the thing is, that's the thing that's interesting. I found too many other guys I like now on YouTube. Jericho Green, the Blue Collar Logic guys, or Curtis Stone, Urban Farmer, Tim Pool. I mean, that's the thing. I don't even rely on Fox News anymore. But I do follow the Tucker, the little clips they have on him. My man, the Hodge twins, love those guys. Man, those guys are cracking me up, man. You get our gear. Yeah, get our gear with a 20% discount. Just use promo code Chinese flu. We call it the Chinese flu because it's from China. Yeah. Oh man, I love the Hodge twins. They crack me up. Let's see. What's your views on physically owning gold? Big fan. Absolutely. Any good alternative for cash, short-term bonds? Ginny May again. VFIIX. Like it. One guy lights a shoe bomb. Now everyone has to deal with tearing. I'm just crazy, man. It's crazy. One guy. It's nuts. I think people will be shocked. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. All right, let's keep going here. Get rid of TSA. Yeah, 100%. That's the thing. This is what happened with what made a lot of Republicans realize that the Republican Party was just as big government as the Democrats. It's just big government under their thumbprint, and we don't want that crap. This is what I'm telling you about. I'm telling you right now. If you read about things like Tulsa in 1918 with the blacks and stuff like that, and you think, well, that was a long time ago, but no, you put that into today's context with the McCloskeys, with the Kyle Rittenhouse, with the who they arrest, some Proud Boys or something, I can't remember. But anyway, they're not arresting the thugs and the tyrants. They're arresting the people who are defending themselves. It's weird. You have 100 years of history of this exact same thing. And the federal government sitting on its hands and allowing the local governments to do what they're going to do. But the local governments, they're letting the people out of jail who are on their side, which in this case, the tyrants and the Antifa BLM Marxist crew. Yeah, I'm just telling you right now. And you think back to what used to happen against blacks in the old days, it's the exact same thing. They just said, we're gonna let these tyrants, these mobsters, basically maim and steal and ultimately kill you. And we're not going to do anything to protect you. And then later on, they're going to allow their own little crew to come in there and buy up the land for cheap. And this is the only thing I could possibly think while they're allowing their cities burn is that they have real estate developers who want to buy up the land for cheap. I cannot think of any other reason. Why would Ted Wheeler and all these fools, de Blasio, allow their cities to be burned to the ground? It just doesn't, it's not the whole city, I get it, but the functioning part of the cities in terms of where commerce, why would they allow that to happen? Other than they got some developers that are going to come in and sweep up and buy it on the cheap. What else doesn't make sense? It doesn't make sense that because they're already running deficits. They don't have enough cash. De Blasio is talking about laying off 22,000 people. It doesn't make sense unless I don't understand. It's weird to me. But anyway, what's happening is the riders are free reign. It's the people defend themselves who don't have free reign. It's the thing. It's like, the federal government's not doing anything. And, look, I get it, federalism, but the state isn't doing anything. The local government isn't doing anything. I guess the person we should thank is the Delaware Attorney General. Did you see Tim Pool's video today where he talked about those two clowns who stole that little boy's hat and basically assaulted, I think actually, assault and battery, some freaking clown punched this guy or even, I can't remember. But they're getting a book thrown at them. And Tim's like, I don't know if you want to go that far. I'm like, yeah, you do. You got to make an example out of these fools, man. That's the only way you get these guys to step back is you throw the book at them and say, we're not dealing with this. That's a Delaware Attorney General. I said, man, I don't know who that is, but, he or she's got my vote. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because, they're going to plead down. That's fine. I just want them to be freaking thrown in jail for at least a little bit. So you can't assault people just because they have a Trump sign. You can't. It's nuts. Yeah, big fan of owning gold. 900K in cash, best direction. I wouldn't do anything until after the Sticks. Yeah, Sticks. Yeah, actually, Carl Tarwick, isn't that his name? Or Tar Warwick, something like that. Big fan of Sticks. Huge. I listen to him every day. He's got 3 videos in the morning. I check them all out. What's the best in Vanguard? I saw. Me too. I watch Tim Pool more than mainstream media now. A 900K in cash, best direction. That's what it said. I wouldn't do anything until March. I'm just telling you right now. I just wait till the second wave comes and goes and see what the freaking nanny state does. It could be a whole different world in March than it is today. No reason to risk it now. Right on. You got it, Eisman. Right on. Your first name isn't Matt, is it? I used to have a good friend in high school named Matt Eisman. Pretty funny guy, actually. Atlas Shrugged is too long. I would read the other one, Anthem. I'd start with Anthem from Ayn Rand. Atlas Shrugged just way too long. I'd never look. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a long book, and it's not going to keep people occupied for very long. Some of those monologues are way too long. I don't get why that was such a big book in libertarian circles. I still like Anthem. That's probably Anthem and Fountainhead. I would rather people read first. Yeah, Hannity sounds like a broken record. He's just not very funny. He tells you what he used to do, carpentry, and I don't know if he still does. I said, dude, I get it. You're basically John Kasich's twin brother. John Kasich is a son of a mailman, and he wants you to know, Hannity wants you to know he used to work with his hands too. Picked up your AR, right on. That's fantastic. I'm ready for November 4th. Oh boy. DeBazio is already buying up real estate. Interesting. Yeah, Marxists have come out of the closet. Can agree. Yep. They're just cashing their checks. Doesn't make sense. Will the people learn and toss them out? I hope so. Yeah, Jericho is, man. Every time he does a video, I laugh. It's just the way he phrases words is funny. Oh, don't forget my man Dave Cullen, the Computing Forever guy out of Ireland. Big fan. First time, long time. Dave Cullen, Computing Forever. He did a video the other day, which I have yet to watch. This guy is Crowder, a big fan of Crowder. Of course, JP Sears, Viva Frey, Matt Christensen, big fan. I like Bridget Fetisi. Don't agree with her all the time, but I do like Bridget Fetisi. Paul Joseph Watson. But here's my man, Computing Forever. Dave Cullen right here. Ireland, his last one, Ireland and the loss of private property rights. Converging Agendas, discussing the converging agendas with Fiona Marie Flanagan. Big fan. It's just an app, bro. And then he talks with John Waters. I got to catch up on some Dave Cullen. Been a while. Let's see. Yeah, even reloading components are hard to come by. Manufacturers throwing them all in their animal. Yikes. Rick Travis, enough said I have an old high school friend who's supporting Antifa, but now he chooses to move to Vancouver, Washington, across the river. Yikes. Not in his backyard. Freaking hypocrites, man. Oh, yeah. That's hate that crap. Yep. He supports Antifa, but he's not going to live near him. And he's got the money to escape. Freaking loser. All right, my friends, I'm going to get out of here. I'm up against the wall, 9:20. And I know it wasn't that long, but I appreciate y'all being here. I enjoy the live streams. I wanted to do one tonight. Like I said, I just had a long conversation with the lady that was very interesting. And we'll be doing a live stream together on Monday, which more to come on that. I'll let you all know if you want to join in. It'll be an interesting one. I'm not going to get to it yet. I'll share with you later, but I appreciate y'all being there, even for a short one tonight. Do got a bunch of articles I want to read. Just real quick, I do, and I'll show you this right now. Go down to morning, get this link. I'll put it in the show notes. Right, we got to share this right here. If you want to get right here, Morningstar has their guide to indexes, which you can download for free. And I'll put the link in the show notes. Mark, I wonder if I can put it in the comments, actually. Hold on just a second. Let's see if I can do that. Boink, go over here. Will it let me do that? Oh, yeah, sweet, it did. It looked like it let me do that, man. Now you got a Captain Caleb right here. So go, you can click on that, and all you got to do is fill out fill out your stuff there. It doesn't cost anything. I haven't done it yet. You guys say what category best describes your organization. Just make something up. Say other, wealth. It doesn't matter. What is the best describes your role? Anything. Investment advisory, sales, wealth manager, other, anything. What would you like to? Would you like to get email updates? Yeah, of course you would. And you don't have to, but marketing is. I just think this would be a good piece of research for you guys because I'm a big fan of Morningstar, but I'm also a big fan of indexing, and I think that's pretty cool. That's for free, and you don't have to be you don't have to be a professional to buy that necessarily. So check that out, and I will put it in the show notes as well too. So. All right, I'm up. I wake up at 5 because of that guy, so I'm tired. So I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all being here. Joe Martinez, which will hide, says, F y'all bees, if that makes sense. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for being here, man. That's some good commentary there. So we'll hide him we'll put him in a timeout. So just remember Joe Martinez, remember him in your thoughts, because he's Jim McDermott? No, not Jim McDermott from Washington. Right on. I appreciate Jim for being here. We're just winding down now. So think about Joe Martinez in your prayers. Obviously, he's an angry guy, and we got enough of that in this world. All right. See you guys. Thanks now.